Hello everyone and welcome to Racing League Hub C4 round 10 here at Belgium. A couple of drivers looking to head out the pits straight away, and it's me as ever, the entity, bringing all the action today. So it looks like most of the drivers going to head straight out for us. One of the longer tracks on the calendar. As we see the Annoyed Gamer and the Destroyer going for the medium tyres to start with. People very cautiously going up Eau Rouge. You don't want to lose it on the first lap going up there. And the first driver who's going to go over the line will be Sven, unless anything happens on the outlap for the Williams driver. And in fact, we've got 3 drivers not out on the circuit so far. It's Nath, RPM, Dragos and Skipper. So you have quite a few drivers racing each other to some degree on the outlap. Not much of a difference there for G Infamous and Goon. Goon has been very consistent in qualifying throughout the year though, so it could be quite useful for G Infamous trying to stay behind the Red Bull driver. And looks like we've got quite a good grid today, 18 drivers. So we should have plenty of action to call. So here we are, Sven getting us underway, starting their lap. A bit shaky on the exit of turn 1, but gets through it rather safely. Up into Eau Rouge, cutting that inside turn. A very smooth run onto the back straight. And this other side's not to use the outside curb. Very cautious approach as we approach the downhill section. And as we watch the race, just seeing a couple of comments coming through. Apex Army back in full force. Apex Army, Apex Motoring Club racing today. Obviously was not racing there in Hungary. Likewise, Philip Hogston, his teammate in the Mercedes, also didn't race last week. So both the Mercedes drivers looking to score some points this week, as we seem to have had an incident there in Sector 2. What looks like either Nath or MB Gold in the Alpine. I think that's all been cleared. As you see, Sven coming off the apexes on both the final corners there as well. It's a safe lap, a 1:44.6. But the crucial point at this moment is just to set a lap, and we have got sort of nearly not doing that at all, and that's Philip Hogston on their return, just at the end of Sector 2, having a bit of difficulty. As Goon came into the pits and did not set a lap there. We start seeing some of the times come through, so Ugla has gone across the line. And I believe we just saw Apex Motoring Club off these circuits, I'm not too sure. Snell Hank goes second fastest overall. Snell Hank had a fantastic race last week out in Hungary. Very much trying to keep up the form and bring that here to Belgium. I see Philip Hodgson setting a 2 minute and 19-second time. That is after the incident they had at the end of Sector 2. As we do just catch RPM Dragos, rounds turn 18 and 19. And it's enough for second place for the Alfa Romeo driver. Goey seems to have done track limits there. We'll ride with Giano in the Aston Martin as he goes up by Rouge. Quick onto the DRS down the back straight. And they've done track limits there as well. As we see Douglas improve on their time, getting a 1:47.1. As you'll often see the case at the start of qualifying, the times really quite far apart from each other on the track, as the annoyed gamer now goes up to 1:45.4 on the medium tyres. As I say, this is the reason behind this. It's just drivers not wanting to push too hard on their outlap, just wanting to set a safe and secure lap to begin with. And as they build their confidence throughout the session, pushing harder and setting faster times. And the annoyed gamer pushing from the off there on the medium tyres, 1:45.4. Philip Hodgson went round again on the softs after the spin. It's 1:44.7. Still half the pack to set a lap. And that's Skipper going fastest there, 1:44.6. A very good lap by the Red Bull driver. And maybe not the best place to have stopped, covering the apex of the corner. For what I believe was the Destroyer, who today is in racing red in the Ferrari. And the reason for them being in the Ferrari is G Infamous is back on the grid in the McLaren, as is Double. And I believe we have got some support in the chat today for Double. Big race, they say, for Double. A big race for everybody. It really is starting to get into the business end of the championship and of the season. Speaking of the championship, we have our championship leader going around the final couple of bends. And it looks like it could be a good lap here set by Goon. And it is enough for the fastest time so far, a 1:43.9 for the Red Bull driver. And so we rode on with Apex Motoring Club, who does have some pressure behind them from the Haas of either Goey or it is Goey that's out there chasing down the Mercedes. We'll be able to see what starting time Apex Motoring Club has, if there is going to be a starting time. And Apex Motoring Club has retired from the session. They have lost the front left there. So that's Apex Motoring Club not setting a time on their return today. Unfortunately, catching that one on stream. Well, as we always say, it can only get better for the Mercedes driver. And remember, the top 15 scoring points here at Racing League Hub. And I was just wondering if there was an incident there. It was just drivers moving out of the way of those who are on hot laps. And this should be enough for 6th position for G Infamous there in the McLaren. As we ride with Snell Henk in the Williams. As you mentioned, a fantastic drive last week out by Snell Henk. Ended up finishing in 8th, but arguably deserved more from they had some fantastic pace in Hungary, just looking to carry over that pace and bring it to Spa. And it's a whole second faster there for Snell Henk, enough for them to jump up to 7th. As Novices their first time as well, and gets to 8th in the Alpine. And Ogler has breached the track limits there. Skipper using all of these circuits as we ride on board. And G Infamous to 2nd fastest now at their latest time, 0.7 quicker than their previous lap. As we just try to see who's on hot laps and who is not. Going down on their time. Skipper out of fuel. Philip Hogston breaching track limits. Snell Henk taking a very wide line to let some of the drivers behind through. As we join Graham Portner going round the long left of turn and 10 and 11. You've got to be careful not to lose the rear end through the long left. Likewise, you've got to be careful not to run wide here through 15, as Apex Motoring Club found out. It is a very good sector, a very good middle sector by Graham Potner. Who is currently in 12th, so we'll be looking to improve and get into the top 10 at least. And they got 10th, so not quite where I'm sure they were hoping to be come the end of that lap, but an improvement nonetheless for the Haas driver, who might want to think about getting a move around the circuit, as they have only got 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And interesting to see the Destroyer yet to set a lap. One of the drivers showing fantastic pace, and another driver who shows some fantastic pace. Second in the championship is the Annoyed Gamer. 9 points, the difference between Goon and the Annoyed Gamer. No Huss out there tonight, so the gap that they can pull away from the third place driver in the championship can be increased. As we see the Annoyed Gamer, they are going to have some trouble to deal with. That is for another lap, but they were able to go across the line over 1:44.3, which is going to be good enough for seconds. So it's going to give them the outside line, which it's not going to be outside line, as Philip Hogston sets a 1:44.2, a very good lap by them. And that's track limits for double. It doesn't that they're going to be able to get around the track and set one more time. See the Destroyer now with a bit of clean air on the circuit. So MB Gold finding lots of pace there, 1:43.8, enough to put them into pole. We do have Goey out of the session there. And Goey caught up in an incident between turns 8 and 9. And this looks good from the Destroyer. We'll see where it puts them. And here's the fastest time, 1:43.1. A fantastic lap by the Ferrari driver. Pushes MB Gold to second on the grid, who is going to have the outside line at the moment. Let's see if Goon doesn't have anything to say about it as Goon goes across the line. Goon does not go quicker. They are third position for the Red Bull driver. Skipper able to make it a Red Bull lockout at the moment on the second row. As Sunil Henke will be next across the line, has breached track limits. So next up would be G Infamous. He's got to find quite a bit of time here, G Infamous. You see, were they a bit too cautious on the final bends? We'll be able to see as they go around the final bend. And they're losing it, and they've lost the front wing. Not what G Infamous would have liked there. Now it's a matter of whether they will stay in the top 10, which it does look like they are still going to be qualifying in the top 10, as everyone else has finished the track. G Infamous disqualified from the session for I'm not sure if they were aware of the drivers around them that they had all finished, but that there is qualifying finish. So G Infamous, Apex Motoring Club and Goey all out of the session. Goey did manage to set a time though, And it was a 1:44.6. The disqualification for G Infamous, I believe, will put them to the back of the grids. We will get confirmation of the grid order. And there we have it. So in pole is the Destroyer, who destroyed the circuit there with a 1:43.1, 0.7 faster than the next driver, who was MB Gold. MB Gold shown quite a lot of pace in the last, throughout the whole season. It's just about consistency for the Alpine driver, and hopefully they'll be able to score some good points today. Goon, our championship leader, starting from third. With a second row lockout for the Red Bulls, with Skipper in fourth. Fifth, we have Philip Ogston. Sixth, Annoyed Gamer. Seventh, Jarno. Eighth, RPM Dragos. Ninth, Goey. 10th, capping out the top 10, is Sven. As you see the confirmation further down the grid there, we've got in 11th, Snell Henk. 12th, we have Nath. In 13th is Goran Potner. And we'll just wait for the graphic to come back to us, as we are able to confirm that G Infamous will be starting at, towards the back of the pack after that disqualification at the end of qualifying. So as we turn our attention now, as we're just loading into the race itself, anyone in the chat, who do we reckon is the driver to keep our eyes out? Who is going to be the driver of the day? Who's going to win the race? So we are going to be starting on the dry compound tyres. We do obviously have the confirmation there of the rest of the grid. So it's 11th was Snell Henk. 12th we have Nath. 13th Goran Potner. 15th is Double. In fact, 15th is Chrissy Business. 14th is Double. 16th we have Ugler. 17th Apex Motoring Club. Didn't set a time as they had an incident in qualifying and then getting disqualified from qualifying was G Infamous, so it's going to be starting from the back of the grid. So let's have a little look as to the tyres that everyone has opted to start the race on, as we get some encouragement from Huss, not racing today, sitting third in the Drivers' Championship, no doubt supporting their teammates, the Annoyed Gamer in the AlphaTauri. And some support from Liam Casey there, who is part of the Apex Army. Wants an Apex Motoring Club one for the classics. I would like to see Apex Motoring Club go home to win, but believes Goon, our championship leader, is in a good position. So as we see those tyres, we've got Goran Potner, Double, Apex Motoring Club and G Infamous going for the longest stints for the medium tyres. There was no safety car in C2 on Tuesday. Not to say there won't be one here today. And some good words of wisdom from us. Be aware of the Annoyed Gamer. They are very consistent. They know when to pit. It's all about the algorithms, and the Annoyed Gamer definitely can read them. Starting in 6th, but second in the championship for a reason. Definitely one to keep our eyes out for is the AlphaTauri driver. Starting on pole on the inside line, the Destroyer. Another shout for a potential winner today. Definitely showing the pace in qualifying. MB Gold, we don't see too much of them later on in the races. But we'll be able to see what they can bring to the table today, as we are 5 lights, and we are lights out, and away we go. It looks to be a good start from the Ferrari. It's a fantastic start from the Annoyed Gamer by the looks of things, who's already got past Skipper. As it looks to be all safe around turn number 1. A couple of drivers making some positions. It looks like we have got a race lead straight away. A poor drive out of Eau Rouge for the Destroyer. MB Gold getting ahead. And Goon is going to go around the outside here as well. So MB Gold getting across the Destroyer to get to the inside line. Goon going with them. And the Destroyer drops from first to third down the back straight. Now we have lost the driver. It is Nath in the Alpine. Has crashed out going up Eau Rouge. We are just at yellow flags for the moment. Well, we've got to say, what a start for the Annoyed Gamer. 2 places up from their start. They straight away around the outside of the slow starting Skipper. And as you talk about poor starts, it was a poor start for the pole sitter, the Destroyer, who is still struggling out there on the circuit by the looks of things. As they were just running wide there around turn 15. As Snellhank gets past Jarno. Looks like we've got a bit of a gap appearing between Goey and Snellhank, so the top 9 pulling away. And it looks like Skipper might be thinking of a move up the inside into turn 1 on Philip Hoxton. Philip Hoxton does run wide, which nearly leads to RPM Dragos getting through, and it does lead to RPM Dragos getting through just before Eau Rouge. Thank you very much, says the Alfa Romeo driver, but it's not all done yet, as Philip Hoxton right onto the back of the Alfa Romeo has got the inside line, and they're side by side. It's going to be who's later on the brakes, and that is Philip Hoxton braving it out on the brakes. And just gets there. This Jono has gone into the pits, and that's why they are 22 seconds down. As Goey gets past RPM Dragos and Snellhank, and double getting past Sven. And in fact, a lot of drivers getting past Sven, and that's because they are off the circuit. Not where you want to be. The Williams driver falling down to 16th. No penalties so far, but we will be able to see the position changes from the start side of the Destroyer, as we said, down 2 places from their start. MB Gold doesn't want to be looking in their mirrors to see the championship leader in that Red Bull staying with them for the moment. The Destroyer, as we say, dropped the 2 positions, so he's now running in third with the Annoyed Gamer chasing them down. Annoyed Gamer having a fantastic start from 6th. And sees them up to 4th at the moment. Skipper and Philip Hoxton, the 2 drivers who were overtaken by the Annoyed Gamer. Goey up 2 positions, a good start from the Haas driver. RPM Dragos hasn't made or lost any positions, but has been involved in some overtakes. They have now got Snellhank looking to hunt them down, but we will quickly flick back to leaders as they go down the back straight. DRS now enabled. And Goon thinks about flicking around to the outside. It's just a bit too far back. And that does back Goon up a little bit more to the Destroyer. And we have got yellow flags. And it's Snellhank who's off the circuit, I believe. And G Infamous also involved in the incident there. G Infamous not having the best of days so far, getting caught up there around turn 5. The best starts of them all arguably to Ugler, who's up 5 positions, and Double, who is up into 9th position so far, the McLaren driver racing well. We have got yellow flags in sectors 2. It's an incident involving Goey. And we've also got an incident ahead by the looks of things. And it's Philip Hogston, who was off the circuit there and the exit of turn 15. Very similar. We got the virtual safety car out on the track. Very similar incident by the looks of things to what we had with the other Mercedes driver. Apex Motoring Club in qualifying, and look at that, Philip Hogston, no front wing, so we'll be no doubt coming into the pits and fitting a new one. RPM Jaggles also deciding to come into the pits. I don't believe we've got any damage on the Alfa Romeo. Goey has got a penalty. It's a 5-second time penalty, so might have been caught up in an incident there. And, Double promised a top 3 for the start of the race today, and Double is now running in 6th position. And someone who's looking to change that is Goran Potner. Both Double and Goran Potner on the medium tyres. So I'll be praying that there's not a safety car too early on, as they'll be looking to play the long game here. And Goran Potner, no doubt, is quicker than Double. It's all just about picking the right moment and the right point of the circuit to make the move. That move not going to come just yet for us. I've got 22 laps. I'm sure they are in no rush, but we'll be looking to get past the McLaren driver. Maybe a move into the final turns. Nope, but a bit of contact and enough to spin Double there from Goran Potner. I'm sure that'll be one for the stewards to feast their eyes on in the coming days, as that drops Double into 12th position. I'm sure that'll be used as the excuse by Double for not getting the top 3 there as well for you, Mr. Heather. Kuhn still chasing down the race leader MB Gold. That gap dropping to within 0.4. MB Gold, still quite a lot of ERS to play around with, keeping that in the tank in case they do need it and they face some pressure from the Red Bull driver. As you now see Ugler running in 6th position, and we have got an incident in sector 2, and it is MB Gold under pressure from the championship leader, so there is now a new race leader, which is Goon. MB Gold caving to the pressure. We said it was a matter of consistency for the Alpine driver, and they have dropped to 5th position. I'm sure they'll still be more than happy to finish in 5th. There is still a long way to go for the Alpine driver, so just about keeping their heads, staying composed, and not making any more errors on the circuit. And looks like we are going to have a battle going into the final chicane. Apex Motoring Club and Goey. Goey doesn't want to get involved in an incident with their own teammates. Apex Motoring Club left room by Goey, and there is contact. We have a few spinners. We got donuts on the start finish straight. And it looks like the Haas of Goey avoiding one of the spinners ahead of them. Apex Motoring Club up the inside, wasn't expecting it. Looks like there was some contact, and we ended up having quite a few drivers facing the wrong way there at turn 1, well, before turn 1 on the main straight, all because of one incident that neither of them could foresee around the final bend. And Snell Henk, a lovely camera angle we got there, into turn 5, making the move on double. It's up to 8th position for the Williams driver. As we have the battle for the last finishing position at the moment, G-Infamous, DRS wide open, thinks about a move at the inside. Could argue they had the tyres, being on these soft tyres, but they don't want to ruin their race completely, so let Sven have it. Sven is all over the place as we go into the downhill section. G-Infamous will be looking to make this move quickly, and will go on Apex Motoring Club, who is going very gingerly around at the moment. I think they might have some damage to the front wing, and has got 2 Haas drivers chasing. In fact, it's just the 1 Haas driver. This is the Alfa Romeo as well. We are going to get some overtaking here. As Jono leads the pack through. As we are starting to approach the pit window for the drivers on the soft tyres. Some might be tempted to go on to the hard tyres. Some might be tempted to wait it out just a little bit longer and go on to the mediums. One of the drivers on the hard tyres is MB Gold, making another move on the inside there at turn 5 of Crispy Business. Crispy Business this week sporting the AlphaTauri colours. That's MB Gold up to 8th position on the hard tyres. The only driver at the moment on the hard tyres. So let's go for the early pit stop. G-Infamous picking up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. One driver who's been keeping the pace, and one that we haven't focused on too much, is Skipper the Destroyer. Heads into the pits, thinking about the undercut maybe on Goon. That will be interesting to keep our eyes on later on. I'll be seeing what tyres the Ferrari driver goes onto, and it is going to be a fresh set of medium tyres. So a quick pit stop for the Ferrari, and looking to make the undercut. We'll be interested to see whether that forces Goon into making a stop. And be Gold all over the back of Snell Henk, the next driver for the early pitter. Nearly making contact into turn 1. They are still going to get another stab at it as they go up Eau Rouge. They have got yellow flags in sector 1. It's Chris' Business at the exit of turn 1. We are staying on board with MB Gold. Would they be making another one of those signature moves up the inside of turn 5? They are quite far back, but here we are. DRS wide open. Up the inside, the signature move pays off again for MB Gold as they go up into 7th position. Another move up the inside, coming off the main straight at turn 5 for the Alpine driver. Early pit stop. A very good decision so far for the Alpine driver. Now this is a battle. This could be very even out there. Jarno and RPM Jonos, both drivers, show they have got the pace. It's just about the consistency for both the Aston and Alfa Romeo drivers. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this race lasting the distance there, the 22 laps. Now you see a lot of debris out on the track. I think someone has gone through one of the advertisement boards. And there's a tick for the word bingo there. As RPM Dragos getting closer. They are on the medium tyres, whilst Jarno is on the softs. I believe Jarno would have to pit again, barring a safety car. As we are going to see Goran Potner and Skipper racing together up Eau Rouge. Goran Potner just getting ahead of Skipper, who has just come out of the pit, so the fresh tyres of Skipper already side by side. As we go down the back straight, and Skipper should have the DRS wide open, which they do, and makes that move done before we even get to turn 5. One driver as well we haven't focused too much on is Ugler, who is still out there on the soft tyres and is now up into 4th. So Jarno, overtaken by RPM Dragos, just seems to be dropping off a little bit, although they do have double up the road, and RPM Dragos already sizing up a potential move on the McLaren driver, who is getting a bit wayward around the middle sector. RPM Dragos definitely with the better drive out of turn 15. So Destroyer says the fastest lap. Destroyer has got past Goon, in fact, so the undercut working for the Ferrari driver. And we are going to see RPM Dragos sizing up and move around the outside. And they do get it done. Double very cautious there. Obviously got caught up in an incident earlier on in the race. And we do see RPM Dragos getting past the McLaren driver, although the McLaren driver not giving up too easy. Thinks about moving the inside, decides against it. Jarno now right on the back of the McLaren driver. A great drive out of turn 1. Up the inside before Eau Rouge. Yes, you can already see Jarno up into 9th position ahead of Double, and Double has spun out. And that's Double out of the session. And we have got a safety car. So a lot of the drivers just coming into the pits, or just completing a pit stop in fact. And that's a spanner in the works. It's a free pit stop for drivers like Goran Potner. Maybe even a free pit stop for Jarno and Philip Hogston, who are still on the soft tyres. Maybe even an opportunity for MB Gold to go onto the medium tyres. They push a little bit more than they were planning originally, or maybe even to go onto the soft tyres. See the laps under the safety car, normally around 3 laps under the safety car, which will see us racing again from lap 12 or 13. And if he was to pit now, it would only mean 9 or 10 laps on those soft tyres, with a lot less of a fuel load in the car. It could well be worth a risk on these soft tyres for the driver who did start the race and the front row of the grids. We will stick with them to see their decision. They're thinking about it and they decide to stay out on the track. So whole track position, they are going to be on these slower tyres. Goran Potner does come into the pits once out of those medium tyres, so they go for the softs. I reckon they will. I reckon they'll chance it. 10 laps on these soft tyres. It's a stretch, but it is possible. And they are going for the hards. So playing safe as opposed to sorry for the Haas driver. RPM Dragos being brave in the Alfa Romeo. That's what we like to see on these soft tyres. They are really going to be pushing. As well as I say they're going to be pushing, they're going to be pushing because they know they're on the quicker tyres. They've got to be conservative of those tyres as well. So we did just see the confirmation of the penalties. G-Infamous not having the best of days so far. Here is an opportunity though for the McLaren driver. It's a nice little reset for them to make up some positions and potentially get into the top 15 to get points. They're sitting in 14th, so might be scoring some points at the moment, but we'll have to pull away a further 3 seconds to Apex Motoring Club and Crispy Business. RPM Dragos on those soft tyres, picking up a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings, track limits, not something you want to do, especially under a safety car. Sven also having a 3-second time penalty. So we do just see confirmation of the position change. So far as driver of the day, Ugla in 7th position, up 9. They are on fresh mediums, 2 drivers ahead of them on older, well not older, they are on the hard tyres, which are the slower compound tyre. So one to watch is Ugla, if they can keep all 4 wheels on the circuit, pointing the right direction. Snell Hank, I'm sure, is going to be putting them under some pressure. Liam Casey, yes, that is a bit of a shame for Double Apex Motoring Club. A shame for them as well, picking up another time penalty. That's another 3 seconds for them for track limits. Yes, Double found themselves in some good positions out there on the track. Are unfortunate to be clipped from behind around the final chicane. And now unfortunate to be caught up. Going up, well, not caught up, they spun themselves, in fact, up Eau Rouge. Sven in the pits, fresh set of medium tyres. I believe we will have the safety car in this lap. So we do have confirmation currently of the order as it stands. This will be doing the Destroyer some good in terms of preserving the medium tyres. G Infamous, 5-second time penalty, contact under the safety car with G Infamous and Apex Motoring Club. They're involved in the incident. 16 seconds worth of time penalties. So it's 10 seconds each for G Infamous and Apex Motoring Club, who now decides to retire from the session. Interesting to see what happened there. Again, I'm sure this will be one for the stewards. So as we see, the Destroyer will be leading us out. Able to preserve that extra lap of tyre wear now with the safety car after pulling off the undercut of the century on Goon, and Goon was 2 seconds up the road. The Annoyed Gamer in a podium position yet again, chasing down their championship rival on and off the track. On the track, chasing down, could be a race win, could be a second on the podium, but no doubt wanting to get ahead of Goon, the AlphaTauri driver. Skipper in the Red Bull into 4th. MB Gold started on the front row of the grid, is in 5th. Goran Potno in 6th, both on the hard tyres, whilst Ugla and Snell Henk on the mediums. Philip Hodgson definitely there, in with a shout as well of scoring some good points. And, we will be going again soon. It's just when the Destroyer wants us to go. Currently backing up the pack, doesn't want any driver around him to pick up an advantage. Obviously no DRS for the first 3 laps. Skipper picking up a 5-second time penalty for contact. Snell Henk as well. Some of the drivers not expecting it, and the Destroyer has gone for it. Goon drops off a bit, but the Annoyed Gamer dropping off even more. It looks like we have got an incident involving Skipper, as they have they were very wide there, so they might have some damage on the Red Bull, yet to be seen, but the cabs have already started to appear, and because of the contact, as all the drivers backed up, we have got MB Gold, Goey and Philip Hodgson all in the pits. So absolute chaos as we restart under the safety car, and the chaos is going to continue as they go down the back straight here with Sven leading out G Infamous and RPM Dragos. No DRS just yet. RPM Jagos on the fresher tyres, well, on the softer tyres even. The faster compound tyres. Doesn't think about a move up the inside there into turn 5. Goon sticking with the Destroyer. The annoyed gamer dropping back to outside of DRS range on the Red Bull driver. In fact, it's been a very good lap from Goon, whether that's a lack of heat in the tyres for the Ferrari or just a fantastic restart for Goon. Goon is right on the back of that Ferrari. No DRS just yet. The Destroyer preserving as much ERS as they can. The potential of a move into the final chicane. Gives a little tease to the inside, decides against it. Instead opts to try and close the gap again. MB Gold, 3-second time penalty. As it looks like we've got another incident involving G Infamous maybe, as they are cutting the grass because they have not got a front wing. It's getting from worse. It's getting from bad from worse for the McLaren driver. As Chrissy Business also picks up a time penalty for cutting the final corners. It's 5 seconds for them. Giano currently in a good position with the penalties around them. Likewise is Ugla still in 7th. As we see Snell Henk and Goran Potner side by side down the back straight. No DRS. This is just going to be who's later on the brakes. And in fact, Snell Henk gets the overtake done before they even get to the braking zone. Skipper now to pick up a 3-second time penalty for track limits as they goes down to the downhill section. The Destroyer also picking up the time penalty as Goon has got past them. The overtake was done there on the back straight. And have we just seen the race victory be handed to Goon? The annoyed gamer having to do a lot of work here, wanting to stay inside a DRS range to the Destroyer. Chris Business picking up another time penalty. As the penalties come flying in, we'll just have a quick check on them. 8 seconds now for Skipper. Snell Henk is running up in 5th. Would be their best finish so far. But they have got 5 seconds worth of time penalty, and both Goran Potner and Ugla are inside. That DRS is now enabled, and Ugla is within DRS range to Goran Potner. So this could be interesting again on the back straight. The Destroyer as well is still within DRS range of Goon, so maybe looking to get that place back. The question asked is, are they too far back? G Infamous picking up another time penalty. And here we are, the Destroyer in the Ferrari. Goon parking it centrally, and yes, the Destroyer a bit too far back on that occasion. And RPM Dragos left it very late on the brakes to come off the track at turn 5. And Jarno has managed to get past them. Says thank you very much, the Aston Martin does. No penalties at the moment for Jarno. So we'll love to get past some of these drivers. As it looks like we have got an incident on the Auto Rouge. It's taken another victim, and it's Goey. Safety car is out with 7 laps remaining. Be interesting to see if any driver decides to go in for the soft tyres. This really doesn't help the Destroyer, who has got that time penalty. The annoyed gamer looks good at the moment for a second place finish. So we just have a little look. Doesn't look like any drivers going into the... In fact, the Destroyer has gone into the pits. opt against track position. A couple of other drivers coming into the pits as well, such as Goran Potner, who was on hard tyres. So interesting decision from the Ferrari driver, the Destroyer, going out on the soft tyres in 8th position. This also provides a good opportunity for drivers such as Philip Hodgson there, serving their time penalties. That's a good points return so far for the Aston Martins. Uglar and Jarno 5th and 6th on the track, with skipper Antonel Henk both with time penalties. And Jarno has just picked up a time penalty for an incident involving them and RPM Dragos. And that'll be an interesting one to see. I'm sure Jarno will be looking to put in a steward's report for that one, and maybe able to claim that back come the end of the race. With the Destroyer coming into the pits, we are going to have the championship leaders racing each other for position on the circuit. We did have warning early on to keep an eye on Annoyed Gamer. That was Huss that let us know, because he does come out of nowhere, and they are doing that now. They're in 2nd position, started 6th, had a fantastic start, got 2 places on the start, and is now hunting down the race win. Safety car not coming in this lap. I think they'll be coming in next lap, which will mean we will have a nice 4-lap shootout. There's a couple more of the drivers deciding late on to pit. RPM Dragos going to serve 5 of their 8-second time penalty, no doubt. Crispy Business going for the soft tyres. And also a front wing change for the AlphaTauri. So the drivers weaving around on the track, getting some heat into the tyres, trying to keep optimum tyre and brake temperatures. Very easy to drop the tyre temperature under the safety car. And when you haven't got the temperatures, very easy to lose grip and to spin out on the restarts. So that's why you see a lot of the drivers weaving around on the track. We see Crispy Business just catching up to the back of the pack, which I do believe will trigger the safety car to come in this lap. So all we want to see from a neutral perspective, we would love to see Goon and the Annoyed Gamer going at it for the championship. Feds, we'd love to see them going at it the whole way through the 3rd sector, the final sector. We'd love to see them racing side by side and seeing who can get ahead just by the final chicane. And in fact, we may get that scenario exactly. The safety car is coming in this lap. We are going to have 4-lap shootouts. The Goon will be trying to make sure that they can drop the Annoyed Gamer as soon as possible. They are going to have 1 lap of DRS available to them. That will be the final lap, I believe. In fact, it won't be the final lap. They have 2 laps, I believe, out at that. The pack very spaced out at the moment, and Goon not looking to back everyone up. Does decide eventually to back some people up, but Goon could have gone for it then and decides to go for it now, and hasn't dropped the Annoyed Gamer too much. Annoyed Gamer definitely staying within. The Destroyer and Jono going at it straight away. The Destroyer coming into the pits for these soft tyres and gets past around the outside of Jono. As we see MB Gold and Goran Potner going side by side before we get to Eau Rouge. MB Gold, great drive out of Eau Rouge onto the back straight. MB Gold gets past Jarno, who does flick across to cover the inside line. And the overtake is done before turn 5. So that's MB Gold up to 7th. Uckler still running in 6th. MB Gold is flying out there. Thinks about a move on the inside of the downhill section, but Uckler holds that line very well. The Destroyer chasing down Snell Henk. Could they be looking at a move? Oh, I thought there was going to be contact around the long left-hander. Very close between the two drivers, but no contact. What we like to see. In fact, they're still racing side by side. The Destroyer and thinks about a move up the inside. Again, just a bit too far back on Snell Henk. MB Gold getting past Ugler. And there it is, the Destroyer going side by side on the exit of turn 15. Snell Henk has got the racing line, and Snell Henk's defending it very well. But the Destroyer is going to come back at him. The Destroyer going to have a go on the inside into the final chicane. Brakes late because they can afford to on those soft tyres. Gets the move done. And we have the safety car out again by the looks of things. We have got an incident. And Sven is out of the session. So the Destroyer does get past Snell Henk. And we have got another safety car. And the Destroyer is all of a sudden back in the race. They have got a 3-second time penalty, but they are on the soft tyres. It's just how long the safety car is going to be out on the track. Not good news for the Annoyed Gamer, who is going to have even less time to go for the race victory on Goon. What a fantastic restart for MB Gold. It has to be said. They're flying some fantastic moves. Another move up into turn 5 as well for the Alpine driver. I have got 3 seconds worth of time penalties to their name. So I'm with a time penalty to their name, which I'm sure they will be reporting to the stewards, is Jarno, as they pick that one up under the safety car from a driver behind them, making contact with them. And that picture there speaks volumes. This is C4, but the two drivers we are looking at there, Goon and Annoyed Gamer, they really are in a league of their own. We're under a safety car, we've had a restart, and yet they're still 4 seconds ahead of the drivers behind them. Skipper in the Red Bull as well. So some good points on the table at the moment for the Red Bull team, where Skipper does have 8 seconds worth of time penalties. So we see Apex Motor Club complaining about a brake failure, causing them to have an incident on a track and have to have an early retirement. Philip Hogston getting caught up with an incident there with RPM Dragos. RPM Dragos has got some damage to that front wing, so they are in the pits, which might delay us getting going again, with the safety car now picking up Goon. I think we might get 1 lap. No DRS, 1 lap at this. But I don't believe the safety car will come in this lap. As RPM Dragos puts on a scrub set of soft tyres. We'll just double check the time penalties again. Snell Hank finding themselves in a good position there. Obviously with the we have got 5 seconds worth of time penalties though. And Ugler has a long list of time penalties ahead of them. So permitting none of the gaps open up, Ugler could be looking at a surprise podium. Should be their best finish in the Aston Martin in C4. So as we predicted, safety car has come in, and Goon has pulled away a little bit there from the annoyed gamer, and they have pulled away from Skipper, who has been overtaken immediately at turn 1 by the Destroyer, who is on that charge on those fresh, soft tyres. And annoyed gamer and Goon both on the old mediums. Destroyer with 2 laps to chase. 2 seconds down, so might be a bit too far back. As you see, MB Gold looking at another signature move into turn 5. This time on Snell Henk again gets the move done. As Ugler having a poor restart for them. Philip Hogston getting past them as well as Goran Potner. And Goran Potner would like to get past Jarno here and make sure that they are within the penalty range of the drivers ahead of them. We are going to have 2 laps out of hand. Here comes the Destroyer to join the party on those fresher, soft tyres. But we'll have to pull away a 3-second leader there to take the race victory. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. It's Goran Potner, who was facing the wrong way momentarily. Destroyer, 1 lap. What kind of madness can the Ferrari driver pull out of the hat here? Too far back to make a move into turn 1 there. And be Gold thinking about the same on Skipper. The Destroyer going to get past the annoyed gamer, but looks things there are yellow flags in sector 1. MB Gold is out of session. What looks like could have been an incident going up Eau Rouge. So the Destroyer does get past the annoyed gamer, but the Destroyer does still have to pull away 3 seconds. We are still under the yellow flag conditions in sector 1. Goon can afford to let the Destroyer through here, but they can't afford to let them pull away 3 seconds, otherwise that will be the race win. The Destroyer has done enough to pull out a gap to Skipper now, enough for a podium. as Philip Hodgson gets past Jarno. As we come around the final couple of bends, and we are going to see this battle going into the final turn. There's contact, there is rubbing. And it has been the Destroyer has managed to get through, but they have got a 3-second time penalty, so Goon does take the race win. The Annoyed Gamer comes home in second. The Destroyer does get third. Snell Henk getting ahead of Skipper based on Skipper's time penalties. Jarno finishing in seventh because Ugler, with the lack of penalties in comparison to the drivers around him, Ugler up to sixth. Jarno in seventh. Some good points for the Aston Martins. Philip Hogston up into eighth. Goran Potner finishing ninth. Crispy Business in 10th. Their best finish so far. RPM Dragos is going to be coming home in 11th, the final driver to finish the race. And Big Gold might be able to claim some points there, finishing within 90% of the race completion. But what a race that was. A lot happened, a lot changed. But something that didn't change is our Drivers' Championship. Goon, our championship leader, taking home the race win in second place. And in the Drivers' Championship, the Annoyed Gamer, with the Destroyer destroying the competition on the safety car restart. They've crossed the line in first. But having to settle with third on the podium. So we'll just wait for the ceremony to finish so we can get confirmation of the order, as well as confirmation on the championship as well. So as I say, we've got Goon taking on the race win, Annoyed Gamer and the Destroyer on the podium. Snell Henk in fourth, their best finish for the Williams driver. Fantastic drive and consistent drive by them. Skipper finishing in fifth, again bringing home some good points to the Red Bull. Ugler and Jarno, some good points for the Aston Martin, 6th and 7th. Philip Hodgson in 8th, Goran Potner in 9th. 10th was Chrissy Business, their best finish of the year. RPM Jagros in 11th. MB Gold will be able to claim that one to finish in 12th. And there we have classification of the drivers who did not finish. But that is all we have time for this week on Racing League Hub in C4. As ever, I have been the entity, and I'll be here with you watching the action, calling the shots next week, round 11, where we race in Imola.